Good afternoon, social media friends. Whether you are sharing your time with us from afar or from somewhere local to either one of us. My name is Bill. I am honored to share my time with you today, as well as I've asked a friend, a business partner, and real estate broker extraordinaire. He is my beach house guy. Let me ask you to give him a warm welcome. Virtual applause, everyone. Virtual applause. Kinsey Haddock, welcome.
Thank you, Bill. Appreciate it. I appreciate the opportunity to share this time with you today and, be a host on your show.
Let's call it like it is. It's something that we're doing together. I can't do what I do without you. And 75% of the time, you might be able to do what you do without me. So whatever percentage I can get as part of your world, hey, it's my benefit.
It's mutual, definitely. Any opportunities that are there for now or in the future are always welcome.
Yeah. So as part of introducing you there with a little bit of humor, but it's real. Hey, everyone, it is real. He does go by my beach house guy. So I'm playing off of his business tagline. So Kinsey, for today, in our episode of Real Living in Panama City Beach, let me start off with asking you to share with us and drop a current trends market update as to what is real estate happening there in Panama City Beach.
Well, hello, everyone. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day and the weather is nice in your area as it has been down here. We are in the spring market. It is obviously a hot time in real estate. Our market here is pretty consistent year round. We have a pretty busy season. We have about a 10-month season. Inventory is, I would say it's down a little bit. It looks like the first quarter we had a little higher percentage. I think a lot of people with interest rates and things moving around and not sure, they might have felt, well, hey, it's the top of the market, let me sell. So I just checked the inventory to see, where we were at, how many days of market. Looks like the current inventory in 2023 right now compared to last year, it's down about 15%.
Okay.
Is that a good thing or it's a bad thing? I don't think it's really good or bad. I think it's kind of evening out a little bit. Some people that operate a lot of properties in the Panama City Beach area operate them as vacation rentals, as I have shared with Bill in the past. It's a big segment of our market area. Panama City Beach as a whole is a secondary market, I find.
Mm-hmm.
We get a lot of transients, and it's kind of known as the mecca for vacation rental.
Yeah.
So a lot of our metrics and our data points are based off of that every day. I like to work in the investment segment. I always tell people I never like to spend their money, but I like to help them make money.
I like that.
And it's an in and out business. People are coming in and staying, and then, you make an investment, and then you're looking for an out strategy at some point, and then you're a happy, investor for that matter.
Right.
But the GDP here as a whole, we have a big military presence. We have about 3 bases here. We did experience a really big hurricane back in 2018, late 2018.
Right.
That affected a lot of housing. One from existing to also displacement of military personnel, and everything has kind of worked its way back in. And that's a big GDP back into the community as far as a support base outside of course, Florida tourism.
Yeah, I agree with you. Kinsey, if I may put you on the spot because you're my beach house guy, let's imagine that I'm telling you, Kinsey, I'm ready to do what I've been telling you I want to do, which is I want to own a beach home. So now that you hear that from me, and maybe for the ones who are watching today's episode, they're thinking the same thing. What advice would you give me and give all of us?
Well, I guess, the first thing is, whether you live out of state or in state. And again, we're such a transit area. We pull from a lot of markets. We pull from Texas, we pull from Tennessee, we pull from Arkansas, Georgia, Alabama, of course, local. The northern folks typically like to go to the southern part of the state of Florida. And if I was coming into this market to buy something for investment purposes, whether it be single family or condo, I'm buying for the purpose that I want to rent it if I can.
Right.
I just don't see another asset out there that you can own based on the return that you can get. Not only are you getting a cash flow return, you're getting an equitable return once you exit. I've had recent clients that have had upwards of, and I see on average anywhere between 30 and 100% return on investment. And that's not including any cash flow that you're getting during the process of owning that particular property. And these in and out situations, they're not more than 5 years at most. Most people are ready to exit that. If you have investments outside of this area, that you're already a landlord, or you have multiple projects that you're managing, and you're wanting to unwind or release that money and redeploy that capital, Florida's got great taxable incentives as well to bring that money here. Not only that, you could do a 1031 and roll it into one of these particular properties. I like new construction if I'm going single family, if it's something that you're going to buy just to have as a secondary.
Okay.
It has some favorable benefits for the sake of insurance today. Insurance can be quite expensive, as we all know.
Yes.
Florida's no different, especially knowing that we have very temperamental weather, if you will, hurricanes and other things that I have seen as of recent.
Right.
So, you have up-to-date roof, you have up-to-date hot water, electrical, things like that. That's going to help you on the insurance side. So starting out with any type of investment coming to Florida, that would be the two areas that I would consider if I'm coming to the Panama City Beach area, based on medium selling price point, 350 upwards to 650 is about the top end, probably where the average are going to come in at.
Okay. Good to know. Good to know. Do you see locally there for you, with my interest to purchase and own my first beach home, is there an inventory problem, or are there builders that are building these beach homes? And so maybe the inventory problem is not as big as in other locations.
Yeah, you make a good point there. Inventory is always kind of a up and down situation. And another way I look at it is a lot of the national or the strength builders like D.R. Horton. We also have a local developer here that it used to be one of the largest landowners in the state of Florida, and that's the St. Joe Company. I was looking, St. Joe's got approximately 30 projects that are going live right now. And that's commercial, residential, multifamily, retail, so the impacts that are coming in just from that alone, yet alone the people that are coming in, it's just adding more strength in the community. D.R. Horton has 13 communities right now that are live, ranging from $300,000 to $800,000 in single family or townhome, some mixed use development. And the demand is so strong, with even the military coming in on top of that. Has to be housing. So a lot of those guys see the forecast of what's happening, not only for the existing residents, but the transients, and then also the military personnel. So you can imagine, we have to have housing. There's no excuse to not have housing. So they've made the investments. So yes, we do have a tremendous amount of inventory. It's balanced. If you're looking for something within, say, 90 days, 30 days, I mean, D.R. Horton has ready-built homes, turnkey. It's a production-built home. They're going to have certain incentives to come into these particular homes, versus if you go St. Joe, in their developments, it's going to be more of a custom build, and it's not going to be catered just to the general open market.
True. Someone that really wants to, with St. Joe, someone that really wants to have their imprint on the finished product from start to finish. Whereas with the Hortons, right? The national builders doing spec, they're going to build what they feel can sell to a large mass of people. And while you might be able to put some touches on it, it's already kind of started for you.
Yeah, it takes a lot of the work out. I like to always classify some of these builders as kind of the Toyota and Hondas of the world,
Sure.
meaning everybody can afford a Toyota or a Honda,
Right.
for example. And it's the everyday American that's out there working with 2, 3 kids, and it's a husband and wife, and they need a home and they want something nice. And it's very suffice for what their needs are, I mean, until they reach a level. It's an easy entry point many times coming into these homes versus some custom homes where you're going to need a sizable down payment and other things involved with buying that type of, product.
Yep, yep, very true. And in that spirit, using that range of beach home properties that you share with me, if any of one of you watching today's episode is thinking, you know what, I've been thinking about flipping the script, moving to the next chapter of my life, and maybe just full steam ahead, move down there permanently, using the range of figures that Kinsey shared with you, you can actually acquire any one of those properties in that range. If you're occupying it as a primary residence, you can do it with a minimal down payment, somewhere between 5% or a little bit more depending on your situation. If you're doing it though as a second home, so you're going to still live wherever you are and just do the beach home thing part of the time, which is what I want to do. You have to at least pony up a 10% down payment and still finance a large fraction that's possible for you.
And the management there's management companies, Bill, that help with that. So a lot of people they're really confused and they don't know how to handle something from afar. And when you align yourself with the proper management company, which is only going to cost you about 20% roughly to manage that particular asset when you're away, they will align you for success. And most of these properties down here have got a history. So let's say you as a lender, myself as an agent, client comes in, they want something like this, and they're going to come down seasonally. You pick and choose whatever days you want to black out, that you don't want it to be available to the open market. Not only are you going to get the tax benefits, even with where the rates are right now, it's far going to exceed any other investment you have out there that you could remotely bring this type of revenue in. You can hedge inflation. Plus you can have any type of depreciation, of course, meeting with an accountant to figure out what that would be. It just can go so many different ways. The only thing I would say when you operate a property like this is, and a lot of realtors won't tell you this, because essentially you're operating like a hotel. If you're operating a property like this, you're going to have to pay a bed tax back to the state of Florida.
Oh, okay.
And that's something that a management company can discuss that with you.
Okay.
You want to make sure you're doing that because the state of Florida wants their cut. If you're not paying income tax, you're going to pay some tax somewhere, yes.
Sure.
But you're going to get a lot of luxuries versus, parking a bunch of money sitting in a bank that's doing absolutely nothing. And you kind of see where banks are and what's going on with banks somewhat in the market area. It's not terrible, but makes you scratch your head a little bit.
Yes. Right now, with all of the volatility, not with the large big box banks, but those small to mid-sized banks, they're feeling a little bit of pressure because the consumer perspective is scratching their head, kind of wondering, are you going to be around? And if I feel that you're not, guess what they do? They do the bank run of pulling the money out, right? Which is volatile. Which is very volatile.
It's still the best asset you can go right now. Even a lot of people, like you said, 10%. And I always tell a lot of clients that are older per se, they're on the fence. And a lot of people say, oh, I want to pay cash. Great. You want to load a lot of cash in a house? I don't see the need for that. I mean, after you're pushing 50 years of age or older, now you're going to run into health possibility issues, and now you're having to get money out.
Right.
Whereas, when you've got something that's cash flowing, it's giving you money, it's helping you live your life basically at the expense of someone else. And plus all the appreciation upside and still get to use it. You don't get to do anything with cash in the bank. You just get to look at a number.
That's very true. And let's call it like it is, Kinsey. When rates were crazy, super low 2 years ago, banks were not paying zilch on holding your money. And now, while rates have freely climbed upwards, yes, for all of us that park our money somewhere, and we all do, they're paying you something, but it's still not that attractive.
Right.
Yeah.
The unique thing about this market too, Bill, is because we feed in from so many different states, right?
Yeah.
And people come over the border, and I do 1031 exchanges. I get people all the time. They're like, I need to get rid of this money, and I put them in a different asset. They don't pay any capital gains coming from the other asset.
Right.
It's got such a strength that even, looking at where prices are, and I was just listening to some other stuff from some other agents recently, and if you come to the beach to buy a condo, and let's say it's $600,000, expect to pay $600,000. The price difference of what list versus sale price is going to be is about 3 to 5%.
Yeah.
But if you're buying an asset that's already performing and paying you $60,000 or $50,000 a year cash flow,
Right.
okay, you're paying for a performing asset.
Yes.
Versus I'm going to pay $20,000 less, and it's never had a history. It's never done anything. I don't know if it's going to work or not. I don't know how good this management company is.
Right.
It's kind of a shoot in the barrel. I will tell you it still probably will work.
Yeah.
But that's the situation you walk into in a lot of properties over here in the Gulf Coast.
Okay.
And it's not going to slow down. It's what it is. I've been up here. I was in the Tampa Bay market. I was a broker down there for many years. I fought tooth and nail to do business, and it's a very saturated market, but that's just normal existing homes. In the Gulf Coast here, you have nothing but resort style living. It's a great place to come down to. I welcome you to come down anytime. You will not be disappointed. The water and the beaches, oh my God, phenomenal.
Yeah.
It's like bathtub water.
Exactly. And for us upper Midwesterners and some of my friends who are even farther up north, yes, we all get tired of looking at least the 4 months of what we call the white ugly stuff that turns ugly. And we want what you have, the white sand, blue water, the sunny skies that never seem to change. And so again, in the spirit of today's episode, that's why I had to look for the perfect virtual background to drop it in place so that I honor my friend Kinsey, my beach house guy. So Kinsey, as we wrap up today,
yes, sir.
Share with me. I know you have all of these stories, but the one that really resonated with me recently was how you helped an individual, a family, buy a beach home. I think you told me like 3 years ago. And fast forward to now, you're helping them sell for almost like, what is it, 35, 40% premium. Am I right?
Yeah, that's what's crazy. Bill, I get a call every once in a while. People want to check in, like, what's it going for? My friend's selling this for that. And I go in and look at the data, and I'll run an algorithm report. But then I'm like, okay, I know it's an algorithm. Let me go in longhand. Let me look at this. Let me do this myself and make sure this is right before I go tell this person this is what it is.
Right.
And I look at this sold data, and I'm just blown away. I wish personally I was in the same position as these people to buy this, and I set them up in this position, you know what I mean? Which that's what I do. I can see it, and I'm telling them, like, look, this is what you need to do, and this is why you need to do it. If you do this, and they're not in any rush, they're patient. But this is 3 years. We're talking about 3 years, Bill. It was COVID, post-COVID, but the market with the inventory situation as well, and the demand still being high, and the desirability being extremely high. On top of the cash flows, let's say we went in and we bought an asset for, say, $500,000, right? And I look, and proximity to water is like 2 football fields, okay?
Wow.
Where this property is located.
Okay.
And I look at one property that's pending directly across the street, and this is just a condo. I'm talking about $1,050,000.
Wow.
That's pending at, so we listed $1,000,001.
Okay.
And, how many days of market is it going to take to sell something like this? Well, that price point, a lot of people in that area, they're in a cash type position. They can be in a finance type position.
True.
The other dilemma that I run into on a few condo projects is, and you would understand, is some are warrantable and some
True.
are non-warrantable products.
Right.
Right? A lot of people don't understand that. And so that's just something we have to look at case by case basis when we get on particular projects to make sure we can and how we can go about that. And that's a condo scenario. Single family scenario. I built a single family home for a gentleman that actually he is building this high-speed rail system through Florida. And I learned that about halfway through the project.
Oh, wow.
And this was back around COVID time. And we were having trouble with, which many people were having trouble with, over ask. You know what I mean? Let's say it's listed for 600. They want 675. And then, there's multiple offers and you feel like, oh my God, and it's not going to appraise, right?
Right.
So, but a lot of times these people are in a different position and they don't mind. They just want what they want. So I said, man, let's just build if you don't mind. And the builder told us it's going to take about 2 years.
Yeah.
She was fine with that. And to be prepared for that, if you're going to build custom over here in the Gulf Coast. And another thing is larger market areas. Everybody's used to the fast hustle and bustle. You get on the Gulf Coast time, we like to take everything easy. We don't get in too much of a rush, but we do it right. I'll tell you that. We bought this house about $650.
Okay.
And 2 years later, after the bill was completed, it appraised at $1.2 million, which I was just floored.
Wow.
So day one, you haven't even got your first mortgage payment, and you're closing, and you got your key. And the rates came up a little bit, okay, granted, but you walked into a $600,000 increase, on your asset that you could tomorrow turn around and sell and walk away with $600,000.
Wow.
And it would sell, I'm telling you, because the one right next to it was listed for 1.3. It was insane. I couldn't believe it. I mean, I pat myself on the back sometimes. I don't give myself too much kudos, but location, understanding what you're doing, where you're at, and not being afraid.
Yeah. That's very true. Not being afraid. Not being afraid. You have to take action. And I share this a lot of the times with my clients, Kinsey, and a lot of my business partners like you. Real estate is a team sport. You got to make sure you got the right team on the field to help you get from point A to point B, right?
I agree. Good point.
Yeah. So as we wrap up today's episode, for all of you who are kind enough to share your time with us today, here is my ask of you. If you've enjoyed today's content and the information that we've shared with you, give us your feedback. Throw down your emoji, like. If you have a comment, if you have a question that perhaps in the spirit of time we didn't answer, or a question that's more unique to your situation, throw down your question in a comment. We'd be glad to follow up on that for you in the next episode. The next episode, when might it drop? Well, the beauty of time is we get to do this as frequently as possible. So look for the next episode to be in front of you. We'll announce it 3 to 4 weeks out. Why? Because, as you've heard from Kinsey, he's a pretty busy beach house guy. So I have to respect his time, and I can only get it when I can get it. Now, for all of you who may be thinking, oh my gosh, I want to do this. I need the right team. Remember, real estate is the team sport. It's real simple. If you feel that you need to start a conversation with Kinsey and or myself, all that you need to do is scan the QR codes that you see here. Either one of us will be ready, willing, and able to start that first conversation with you. So as we wrap up today, Kinsey, once again, thank you for sharing your time with me. I know you're going to enjoy your weekend. I am as well, because today our weather is close to what you always get.
It's nice, Bill. I can't complain. I wish I could spread some of the weather up there to you guys every day, but we do have some rainy season on occasion down here. But I do appreciate your time today and all of this, and anything I can be of a help to anyone out there that might see this. and work with Bill gladly. You know, we'll put together something for you. I'm available pretty much anytime. Shoot me an email, text, reach out to Bill. Be glad to help any way I can.
All right. Well, for all of you watching us today, either live or you're watching this after this episode has dropped virtually on social media, we look forward to seeing you in the next one. That's it for now. Have a great weekend. And by the way, don't forget, Feliz Cinco de Mayo. Have those drinks on all of us.